So some of y'all saw the videos of me making a trailer hitch setup for the Studebaker, and after I set it up, I took it for a test and it wasn't strong enough. This receiver is welded to this bumper, which is a 37 Chevy bumper, and it's pretty sturdy. But the way this comes off, I have to remove this inner piece separately. So I need to take the bumper off, then remove the inner piece. Well, that's the problem. If this is also hooked to that, I wouldn't be able to do that. So what I did do is I attached a piece of metal to the top of here, put some bolts through that down into this lower piece, and when I tested it, those bolts, which were smaller than the ones that are in there now, pulled out. So what I did was I put bigger bolts in that, but then I put this piece, which is a good 1/8" steel, and I put bolts completely through the whole piece. If you look down in that hole, you can see the head of a stainless steel bolt. It goes all the way through this piece and all the way through the other piece, and I've got some locking nuts and washers to go on the bottom. I'll show you the bottom here. I think you can see that. So what I'm also going to do is, here is a cross member that's right in front of the fuel tank, but this is part of the original car. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to make a piece, or maybe two pieces, that come from here and attach to here, which can also be removed by removing some bolts. And I have lots of boxes full of metal and metal parts and things that could be used to make something like that out of. Something sort of like that, for example, would work. And I might even have, those are pieces that I cut off of a trailer hitch that was on another vehicle. But if I attach those two pieces there, see, there's a hole up in here that I could get a bolt through there, and then if I made a hole down here and possibly even bent this part down here a little bit and then bolted that into this, that would strengthen all of this, which will be connected to this, which would tie in this cross member and this bumper and this cross member with the gas tank. And I'm not sure I'm going to go that route, but that's something I'm looking at. So that could be the way we wind up going with that. So I thought I'd share that with you. By the way, I've been using my magnetic drill, and it is awesome. I actually bought some bits to go with it. And I feel bad because I made such a mess here, and I've got engine parts here which should be kept drastically clean, but you know me. Anybody that expects anything to keep drastically clean around my house is using magical thinking. So anyway, it is what it is. What I did was I made these big holes in this, big enough to reach a wrench into that to hold that while I tighten it with this drill bit. And what I did was I set it up so that this drill bit was on that, put some oil on it, and let the weight of the handle that's on here just automatically pull down on that. And that actually, I was able to walk away, let it drill itself. That kept the bit from getting too hot, and then after I was doing something else and came back to it, it would take just a second or two to punch it through. Then I used this drill to drill the small holes for the bolts that went through, like this one right here. So yep, that's what we did. That's what we're doing. So I'll get back to you more after I finish doing whatever it is I'm going to do next, and we'll talk some more about what I've done. And by the way I'm designing this, we should be able to put that rubber cover right back over this the way it was previously, so that this will still look sort of half decent. So what I'm coming to instead is this instead of that big thing I had, and this will go I may have cut that one too short, but that will go all the way through the other side. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut a bigger one. I can do that. And then I'll put a nut on each side of that, and then I'll have this, rather than just a piece, I'll have this whole piece here holding, and it has a brace in the center of it right here. Can you see that? Right there. So that makes this even stronger. But my piece should be longer than that. Let me cut another one. And we'll make it about that long. Actually, that one cut that long would probably, if I cut it right there, that would probably work. See, this can now go completely through that, out the other end down here. And then I can put a bolt under here, on top of here. This will have to be drilled out to make it a little bit larger. I got the tools to do that with. Hold the door. So I drilled this with this small drill press because it actually, up to this size, it works good enough. I could have drilled it with one of these bits and the magnetic. The problem I'm working out with the magnetic one is what I do is I magnetize it to this table, and then what I did yesterday is I put that long bar on the table and clamped it. But this bit, these types of bits will try to walk. In other words, when you come down on the metal, if this, even though this is magnetized down, the force of the bit will try to make the bit walk down the steel rather than go through it. So, for my purposes, that's a situation I'll have to figure out as we go. But for my purposes, this worked pretty good, and I think I haven't popped these out of here yet. I think I've got enough of a hole in this one already to get that bolt through. There's my bolt. That'll go through there just fine. So I'll drill out the other one. And I'll probably take a grinder and clean this all up and paint it before I put it on there. Alrighty then. Now I need to cut that other one. Wait a minute, I did cut 2 of those already. What am I thinking? I should have another one somewhere here. I believe I have cut 2 already. Might be in my pocket. We've got 4 stainless steel bolts threaded down between this one and the one under it. And I've got these, I think these are bigger than a 1/2 inch bolts through both sides of this frame. And then I've got tech screw bolts, big ones, in here. Just to kind of give that a little extra strength. This is the rattle of that. That's pretty normal there. So probably the next thing I'm going to do is go hook up the trailer, and I might want to change the back wheels on it, because I noticed the other day the fenders were scrubbing, and I put a brace on the fenders. They look like they might still be just about touching. And the way we're thinking right now, we may be winding up pulling the trailer over there instead of taking it on the other trailer. And if that's the case, I'd rather not take a chance on those tires getting cut and going flat on the fenders while I'm on the way over there. So I may grab a little something to eat and then go do that.